Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Thursday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, stock index futures and Bitcoin are currently trading above fair value. Gold and crude oil are currently trading lower in the pre-market. Let's start off looking at commodities and no change in trend for crude oil or natural gas. While energy stocks continued to move higher on Wednesday, energy stocks in Toronto up just under 3%. And we hit our next price target of 22.66. So congratulations if you locked in some profits there. In New York, energy stocks were up 2.61%. We hit our next target of 54.69. So again, congratulations to anyone who had an order in up at that level. Looking at the world of mining and metals, copper is still treading water here, no change. Still waiting for gold to close above the upper channel line. It did not do that yesterday, so it's still trading above 5,000, but still not enough to give us a new buy signal. That is also true for platinum and silver. Silver, we were trying to get up over 87.50 yesterday, and it was doing that in the pre-market, but not when the markets opened. Then looking at the miners, we've got copper miners joining gold miners, both in New York and Toronto. The junior gold miners moving up as well. We've got silver stocks, both the silver miners and the junior silver miners, both back on buy signals as of Wednesday's close. Looking at the world of Bitcoin and Ethereum, no change there. We were down yesterday. We're up a little in the pre-market this morning. Certainly not expecting a change in trend on Thursday. Looking at the VIX, there's the Dow making new all-time highs. When the market is trying to make new all-time highs, you expect the VIX to be going in the opposite direction, making new all-time lows. That is certainly not what's happening right now. We still have an elevated VIX for the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Russell 2000. Even if we generate sell signals here, I'm not going to get too excited about the stock market. You can see that options traders in Chicago are still overly concerned about the health of the stock market at this time. Now, looking at the Canadian market, we had big reversal day yesterday in the TSX 60 and the TSX Composite. That had a lot to do with Shopify. And if you were with us yesterday morning, we were looking at Shopify trading up in the pre-market. And at that level, if it had a closed up there, it would have given us a new buy signal. But we made a run up to a next price target of 187.50 and then came all the way back down to the recent lows. And so it'll be important to see if those lows hold. Otherwise, $140.63 is our next target for Shopify in Toronto. Now, with that big swing in Shopify yesterday, we also had a big swing in the information technology ETF, and it traded right up to the upper channel line, then came right back down to last week's low. So quite a ride for that ETF on Wednesday. Now, financials came down hard yesterday, had a lot to do with a reversal in the banking sector, but we're still trading above the upper channel line, so not concerned about a sell signal on Thursday. Now, moving on to the TSX Most Actives from Wednesday's trading actions, starting off with Canadian Natural Resources up over 4%, making a new high. Enbridge was up over 1% there, making a new high for this move. We had TELUS pulling back just 9 cents on the day. TELUS moved up to the 1875 level back in January. Then our next target to the upside was 1953. We hit that last week, and that's currently holding us in check. 2031 is our next target to the upside, so we would expect psychological resistance at $20. But also, if you look to the left, there's a nice open gap there that could act as a price magnet. Looking at Suncor making a new high yesterday, up over 2.5%. No joy for Barrick just yet. Still waiting for a close above $65.90 on Thursday to give us a buy signal. There's B2 Gold running into resistance at 781. And that held us in check a couple of weeks ago. We'll have to see if we can break through that. Then we had a reversal in Bank of Montreal, which is trying to hit 200. It got very close yesterday, $198.68. So very close to hitting that 200 mark, which of course is a big round number and a daily and a weekly price target. Now, moving on to the U.S. market, looking at the Vanguard Total Market ETF, we were down slightly yesterday, still dealing with 343.75. We've been dealing with that since early January, and we still haven't been able to break out above it. We recently made a lower low, so that is a bearish sign so far, but we are trying to break through resistance. Now, the Dow is still above 50,000. It's still above 500 on the ETF. That's not that significant. What is significant is the S&P 500 has not been able to break through 7,000 or 700 on the ETF. There's the NASDAQ still dealing with 617.19. We haven't been able to break through that yet. The Russell 2000, small caps, micro caps, they're all still holding up fairly well. If we look at the Russell, we peaked back in the middle of January. We haven't been back to that level yet. Small caps, on the other hand, are up at resistance at 281.25, while micro caps peaked in early January and have not been back to that level just yet. Financials had a big down day yesterday. 1.5% is a big down day for financials. And speaking of big round numbers, we're still watching the Dow Transport stuck here at 20,000. Let's finish off this morning's presentation looking at the U.S. most actives. There's NVIDIA up on the day, still not able to break out above 193.75. Ford just treading water here. We've got a new high for Transocean on Wednesday. Inside day for Intel. Then Unity Software gapping lower on Wednesday. We also saw Lyft gap lower. We also have a new low for Snap on Wednesday. Then we've got Robinhood gapping lower, still closing above the recent low from last week. Then we've got Ondas still on a sell signal here. No change in trend. No change in trend for Amazon. Amazon's trying to hold $200. I think the low last week was $200.31. And so $200 is still acting as psychological support. And if we break that, then 195.31 is our next target to the downside for Amazon. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. So far, it looks like the market wants to do a little buying on Thursday morning. Not expecting too much, but, there's been a lot of intraday volatility over the past week or so, and that could happen once again. The VIX is still elevated. Options traders are still showing their cards, saying, hey, we're worried about what's going on, and we're willing to pay higher premiums to protect our portfolios at this time. So they are certainly not as bullish as some of the stock traders are. Enjoy the rest of your day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Friday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.